As an artist, it's always a good idea to find nice reference material. But since no one's actually seen the wild man of the snow, I figure I better hunt him down and see if I can't get a nice reference photo. You know, due diligence and all that.
Excuse me, have you guys seen a hairy white beast?
Turns out it was just a guy in a mask and a bunny suit. Guess we'll just have to draw Yeti from our imagination. So let's get to it. Step 1. Outline Yeti's basic form. Since this is apparently a fictitious creature, we'll go ahead and exaggerate his anatomy, emphasizing the unique shapes within his overall form. The word Yeti is derived from Tibetan, meaning rocky or rocky place, and cattle bear, referring to the Himalayan brown bear. Other terms used by surrounding peoples don't translate exactly the same, but also refer to legendary and indigenous wildlife. Step 2. Sketch in facial shapes, features, and fur. For variety's sake, we'll give him a bit more of an ape-like look than we did in the opening animation. It's one of those things you have to decide with unique creatures like Yeti. Do you want to make him more like a man, a Neanderthal, a gorilla, cat, or wolf-like? Or push him even more on the side of fantasy with multiple horns and crazy proportions? It all depends on your individual vision of the subject matter. The Tibetan Migoi, or Migo, literally translates as wild man, and Bun Manchi from Nepali Sherpa communities means jungle man, but Yeti is the common name. Step 3. Flesh out the body, adding anatomical detail. For the fur, don't be afraid to scribble or block out large tufts over the musculature. Right now, just focus on the overall shapes and feel of the pose. I've chosen an overhead light source that's partially backlighting the fur of our Yeti and casting shadows downward. Step 4. Add in tone and shading with pastel colors. I'm using Prismacolor oil-based colored pencils, mostly because they lay down smooth and blend well together. The support I'm using is Strathmore Bristol paper. I'm using pastel colors to communicate variations in shading and subtleties of color, even though his fur is pretty much white overall. Most painters, when painting white creatures, actually use most of the colors from the rainbow in their palette, only carefully subdued. Step 5. Darken details and tone of focal areas. This is where you pull it all together. Tone or value, lights and darks, are the most important element of your picture. Color is actually secondary. If you nail the values in your image, nearly any color palette will look decent. Of course, you want to get the colors right too. I'm using a light cerulean blue, a lilac purple, deco yellow, and a hot pink. Also with a little crimson for the mouth. Try to put the most detail in only the areas of highest interest and lose them at the edges. I struggle with this. The temptation is to detail everything. Try to keep the light source and shadows consistent. He's white, he's scary, he's elusive, and he can look however you want him to look. You're the artist. The important thing is having fun while you're doing it. And not getting eaten, or beaten to a bloody pulp. Thanks for drawing it with me. Keep practicing while I go out and thaw. Take care.
From the Himalayan region of Nepal, Bhutan, and Tibet to the Alps, Andes, and Rockies, there's a legend of a beast that just may dwell there. That was a little Ace Ventura.
That's good though.
Hey, you ready?
Ready. And you tackled yourself. That was good.
It gets super deep, right?
I know.